guys, welcome back to the Faithful Farmer Mama. I wanted to come give you an update on all of the gardens since I haven't done that in a while because we put our fall gardens in and harvested everything we were supposed to get from them, and now they're just kind of dormant. I just wanted to show you kind of what our transitional fall to winter into spring garden will look like and share some things that we plan to do in the future with you. Thanks for being here today, guys. So before we get started, if you haven't already, go down below and find the subscribe button. Make sure you click that along with the little bell. It will alert you to any time I post a new video. I just wanted to share our gardens with you because so much has changed since the last time I've posted about them. Here in Oklahoma, our weather is kind of crazy. If you remember, about 2 weeks ago, we had this massive ice storm that came and took lots of our trees and branches, and we are still trying to clean up from that mess. You can actually see back here, down around the bottom of the tree, there are branches everywhere, and it's going to take a really long time for us to be able to clean everything up and burn everything and just make the yard back to what it was. However, in the meantime, we have garden things that are constantly happening here on the farm, and I'm excited to share that with you today because we're getting ready to put all of our gardens to bed for the winter until the spring when we get to start the whole process over again. The day before this snowstorm hit, or shall I say ice storm, it was in the upper 60s and 70s. Guys, it came in so fast and so heavy that it was breaking branches left and right all over the place. We were actually without power for about 4 days. We even were trapped on our property for a little while because we've had trees go down across our drive. It just was the biggest mess. My amazing but crazy neighbor called me and said, "Hey, let's go harvest your tomatoes." So I gave her most of them, but I had a few left over. And today I'm making the remainder of those, which turned red, into spaghetti sauce. Thank you, neighbor. And when the ice storm hit, I actually picked this bucket up and brought it inside the house. This is our cilantro, and y'all, it's still growing. It's actually this one's getting ready to flower. Once it flowers, I will save it for coriander. However, I will be harvesting this tonight for dinner, and then I will freeze whatever we don't use. I actually like to chop it up and put it in a little Ziploc bag so that I can save it for the winter months, because cilantro actually does freeze well to be able to add to soups and beans and all kinds of other things. So when the ice storm hit, we actually lost many of the branches on this tree and the tree behind it, and they did fall onto my arbor that goes over top of my raised beds. I've been working in these raised beds for days trying to clean up the mess, and I'm finally to the point where they actually look like they're cleaned up. I'm putting my gardens to bed, and if you notice in this one here, what I do is I actually till up the dirt that's there. I add compost, I add a little bit of manure, put some more good dirt on top, and then I cover it with manure and hay for the winter, and then I will just leave it there. But if you remember, I planted garlic a while back. This is the garlic that I had planted. This will actually stay in here until the spring, and I will harvest it probably sometime in the beginning of June. These are our carrots. We still have a ton of carrots that are growing, and I actually was looking at these today. Some of these are really big. Guys, I can't believe that I have carrots growing. This one's probably almost ready to be harvested. Then we'll have lots of carrot top pesto to go with it. This garlic I planted back in August. It is just about ready to be picked. Here in Oklahoma, when you plant a second grouping of garlic, the fall garlic is not as tasty as the spring garlic. I think it has a lot to do with being wintered over. So this garlic I will use in things over the winter time just to hold us over until the spring crop is ready. And here you can see there are some things that are still growing. I do still have lettuce, and there's a little bit of dill actually that has self-seeded itself here. I'm going to actually be harvesting that soon. I have Italian parsley that has reseeded and is starting to grow. It will be okay until the spring. I have sage that is on its last leg, but it too will come back in the spring. I have some garlic in here, also some onions that I will be harvesting before December. That's my asparagus over there. I still have radishes. Do y'all remember I planted some radishes? These are the remnants of those. My donkey thinks that these are for him, so he continues to eat the tops off of them, and they just keep growing. I just leave them in there until they look like they're big enough to pick. We've harvested peas and sweet potatoes. These here, that looks like grass, they are leeks. They will be ready in the spring also. If you've never started leeks, you need to start them in the fall and then harvest in the spring. There's still some kohlrabi that's growing, which I will be pulling these out as well. I leave the roots in because from what I understand, they will come back. Then I have some cabbage. This cabbage here probably won't get full size, but I am going to leave it in there until probably mid-December. And then a couple weeks ago, I cut all of our kale to give to our neighbor who gives it to her bunny. And if you noticed, cut the tops off. I was going to pull the stalk and I said, well, I'll just leave it in there for a while. And look, I have new kale growing. So tell Poe to get ready, okay? So I'm going to take you over to two more beds that we have here on the farm that we actually use for vegetables and flowers. This little garden area right here, I'm actually very upset about. So this garden is in a corner, a very non-windy and very warm corner. And I have some sorrel growing in here that's been doing really well. I had like 6 plants, and we have moles. Lots and lots and lots and lots of moles. And all this dirt here, you can see, look at this, what they're doing. They are totally destroying my garden. I'm so mad at this right now. Yeah, get him, kitty, get him. So I had in this particular bed garlic, lilies, bachelor buttons, 6 plants of sorrel, and a couple other things, green onions. Moles have totally wiped out everything that's in this bed. These 2 sorrel plants that are left over, they were dying and struggling. They are just now starting to come back, and I had like 8 heads of garlic that was almost ready to pick, and I came out one day and the plant was hanging on the side and the bulb was gone. All that was left was the top. So I've pulled my lilies out of here, and I'm going to probably put plants in here that do not go in the ground. Or shall I say under the ground. This patch here, I do have some garlic growing, which will be harvested shortly. Lots of rosemary. They are also bachelor buttons, excuse my shadow. I have some beautiful lavender growing. And my lavender, y'all, my lavender is so amazing because it's still flowering. Absolutely beautiful. So I learned a tip with rosemary the last couple of days. It should be on a south-facing wall around your yard because it needs the sun in order to grow all winter without dying. Cat. You should not harvest it at this time. It's too late in the season. It is getting cold and it will actually kill the plant. So use it sparingly if you're going to use it in meals, but do not harvest massively. You'll harvest in the spring and then it will grow back all summer long. As I'm walking around to my gardens, I always have company. I think they think we're going to feed them all the time. Huh, Bill? Herbie's not far off. So the last spot of our garden is actually our cut flower garden. Y'all, do you remember how crazy this garden got in the summer? I am just amazed that it's kind of all dead. We've decided to leave the grass path around the center. And I am in the process, if you notice, tilling up all of the grass and dead product that was left. We will add in here, as you can see here, eggshells, fertilizer, compost, and manure to go throughout the winter. This needs to be done in the next 2 weeks, and I probably will have it done by then. You can notice in here, I do have some garlic that's still growing. And those two will be harvested probably in December time frame when it really starts to get cold. And these fall over, because once they fall over and start to die, that is when they are actually ready to pick. And the last place I wanted to show you today, guys, was our orchard. Now, I'm going to turn this camera around and I'm going to show you here. You see all these little hills behind me, these little bumps? This is our orchard area. Look at the mole activity in this area. It's everywhere. Guys, everywhere. We are having a really hard time staying on top of them since we don't use this area too much. They are just wreaking havoc in our... Oh, they took my fig. Took my fig. That was a fig tree. And they totally took it. Yeah, get it, Nori. This is Mrs. Norris. She likes moles. But our orchard was actually hit pretty bad by the ice. And I'm very thankful that because these trees are so young, when the ice hit them, their branches did not break. They actually just bent over, and I'm so grateful they didn't snap, guys. You just have no idea. I was out here crying because I was so sad that they had been hurt so badly. This is the tree that the horse destroyed. We have 3 of those that he broke, but then they've decided to start growing again. So I'm very excited about that. That's another one that he broke. But it's so heartbreaking because I really thought that my trees were going to be gone. I didn't think they would make it through the ice storm. Well, guys, that's it for today. I hope that showing you the gardens the way they are in the winter or late fall into winter can help you learn what needs to be done with your gardens. It's very important that you let your earth rest in between plantings. You definitely need to add back nutrition, so fertilizers and compost, manure if you can get a hold of it. I know in places like Lowe's and other home goods stores, you can actually buy manure in bags. So if you're just gardening in a small spot, go buy some manure and place it into your garden beds and mix it in. By the spring, your dirt will be so fertile and healthy and just in great shape to be able to plant more and have a healthy garden for that spring. Well, keep tuned because soon Christmas will be here. And I have already started decorating for the holidays. Christmas is my favorite holiday. My Christmas is not like a lot of traditional Christmases, and I will explain that in those Christmas videos. But I also wanted to tell you that decorating and making yourself cheerful with things like Christmas lights and Christmas trees really is a great way to be happy if it makes you happy. I can't wait to show you all of the homemade ornaments that I have made and the new trees that we will be setting up this year. If you are not on my Instagram account, you'll want to head over there. I have a lot of the ornaments that I've done already on there, and I'd love to share more with you. So thanks for being here today, guys. I will talk to you next time. See you later. Yeah, I bought this tree last year at Sprouts, and I put it in this little pan I had, but it grew out of it so fast. So I went to the Goodwill, and I picked up this cute little bucket for $2.32. So I poked some holes in the bottom, and I put this tree inside of it. It is the cutest little addition for any Christmas decor.